Alright everyone, this is actually a video that a couple of people have messaged me about over time, and I figured that I'd finally make it. This is more of an about me thing. It's not politics or any boring shit like that some people rag on me for covering habitually. I'm interested in politics, what can I say? This is about the top 5 things that piss me off, my pet peeves, my major annoyances. Now, there are more things than this, but these are like 5 of the biggest ones. I'll give, as a caveat, I'll give a runner-up status to the feeling of cotton or tissue on dry hands. I don't know, it just freaks me out and makes me get the shivers. No, I'm going to do these in reverse order. So the 5th most peeving thing that can happen. Sticky substances on my hair or face. Like if I'm eating certain foods, greasy foods, sticky foods like jelly or something, it's the only time that I want to have my hair back. Normally I like to have my hair in front, like this. But if I get excessively sweaty, like gardening or something, jogging, which I never do, eating certain foods, I'll put it back behind my ears. I've even put it in a ponytail before, and no, by the way, I'm never going to do that on video. It's just not going to happen because I think it looks fucking ridiculous. Now, I do not believe in man buns and ponytails and shit like that. Let your hair be free. So hopefully you'll have your hair longer if you don't, constantly yank it back anyway, but if I'm eating anything sticky, especially jelly, I just have a phobia of it getting anywhere near my face. Like when I eat it, I'll open my mouth extra wide and be very careful not to even get it on the sides of my face. Like even if I were bald and clean shaven, it'd still be weird, but the thought of it, like stickiness or greasiness getting in my hair, it just drives me crazy. Also if it gets on my glasses, because that's adjacent to my face. The 4th, sudden sharp sounds. Especially like when you're loading a dishwasher or something, the sound that the dishes make if they clank together, pun intended, that just annoys me. It's a really big annoyance, and it scales with how loud it is. The sound of metal pots or something like that, it rankles me. It makes me lose all of my focus. There's probably some sort of medical term for it, but whatever it is, I fucking have it. I think, wasn't it Mozart had something like that? Like noises like that, they'd practically send him into seizures or some shit. One of the classical composers had some sort of weird phobia when it came to certain loud noises. Number 3 is food waste. Now this is a continuous pet peeve, and I think I know psychologically where it begins. I know what it's like growing up poor. But the thing is, when I was little, of course, little kid, you're 10, 11 years old, you can eat like a shark. So my parents would typically make like large meals, like a casserole dish, big pan of lasagna, stuff like that. So it'd be like 8 servings for 3 people. It was me, my mom, and my dad. But it didn't matter because I would, I'd eat 2 servings the day of, and then I'd probably eat 2 more the next day. I'd plow through the leftovers. And so it was convenient. You make a big meal, I eat like fucking 5 pieces of lasagna or 4 helpings of tuna noodle or whatever because I was growing. But when I got older, the servings didn't change size because the dishes were the same, and yet, of course, my metabolism slows down. It tends to when you mature, and I just hated the idea that there was food going to waste. Even now, I try my best to keep up with the leftovers, but the problem is a lot of recipes fundamentally aren't made for 2 people. They're not made for 2 or 3 servings. They're family sized. You have to scale them, and in some cases it can be difficult to do that. It can be difficult even to find cookware to do it in some cases, and so a lot of food gets wasted. And I just think to myself, like it's almost phobic because I know what it's like to be very poor and to try not to waste anything simply because, hey, you might not get this meal again in a while, and especially if it's something tasty. And so that can be, a little bit difficult. It'd be difficult to even have storage space. Filling up your freezer. I had to clean out the freezer last week and also chip all the ice out of it. Having some problems there with even using the drawers, and unfortunately had to throw things out. And it's like, there's a part of me that's like, well, I could store it a little bit longer, but then you realize it's, outdated and you can't, and it's very unfortunate. Number 2, being spoken to while I'm in the bathroom. Especially when I was younger, it always pissed me off. It doesn't matter who it is, and by the way, it doesn't matter why I'm in the bathroom. I don't want to be talked to while I'm in there. It's especially bad if you're actually using the bathroom, but even if I'm just in there, like physically in the bathroom, sitting on the toilet thinking, it just pisses me off to be spoken to. It's funny because I control Liz because I'll do it to her, but then I'd get, angry if she did it to me. I'm allowed to be a hypocrite about bathroom time, I suppose. This is something like my mom would always ask me questions when I was a kid. I'd be in the bathroom. It's like, oh, what do you want for dinner? Please. Just give me 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking for. Especially, I think this is more men than women. I get the sense that women in the bathroom, they like hold entire philosophical conversations and trade makeup and dating tips and shit. And then number one, people who try to tell me what I think. I don't like it when people put words in my mouth, but even more, I hate it if they try to put things in my head. Like, if they judge how I'm thinking about something and they happen to be wrong, it drives me insane. This is probably because as a problem child, I had to talk to like fucking school counselors and therapists and all these morons, the dregs of society who all, by the way, should be fired. Every single goddamn one of them. If you're a school therapist, you should fire yourself and find a better line of work. And the assumptions that they would make about why I was misbehaving or why I acted in a certain way were almost invariably wrong, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I have to deal with these morons making rules that I have to abide by, and they don't fucking know jack shit. And it just pisses me off, and there are a lot of people that try to do this. Even online it happens. There, of course, I can rampage against them and tell them to fuck themselves, or to fuck their family members, and it's all a good thing. Of course, when you're a kid in school, a little bit different. So, I mean, there's no release other than more misbehavior. I wonder why I was a problem child and wouldn't get along with others very well. Other students sometimes. Teachers, very seldom. Therapists and counselors, goddamn never. I don't think that I met a single one of those turds in my entire life that I actually got along with. Probably wouldn't get along with them now. Their teaching methodology sucks. Their methodology is bullshit. That's why our educational attainments now, what is it, below Croatia probably. So yeah, there's a list of the top 5 things that peeve me. I just thought it was a funny video to make. A little bit of humor, humor for your morning. Very early morning, by the way, if you're Eastern time. So make sure to clank along, get a good coffee, or 2 of them. That's about all. Peace out.